Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make vintage streetwear t-shirt designs like these ones. I've seen a few brands make shirts like these, and it's a simple process to make these from scratch using gradient maps and some custom painting. To get started, let's open up a new Photoshop document. Let's make that 16 by 20 inches, 300 pixels per inch, RGB color, 8-bit color, and black background. First, we want to copy and paste our images. I have this cutout image of Dennis Rodman that I'm using, and an image of his signature that I found online. Next, we want to open the adjustments panel. Then let's add a gradient map adjustment layer. We want to make sure that's directly on top of the Rodman layer and click this button to make it a clipping mask. We want this gradient map to mimic the skin tones, so let's edit the gradient. Gradients will remap the colors starting with the dark or black tones on the left and the lighter tones to the right. So we just want to add some brown tones near the middle to remap the midtones. I'm going to just eyeball a light brown color. I like to duplicate this stop, so there are 2 stops around the mid-range of the gradient, but you can play around with what looks good with your image. Also, instead of keeping this right one solid white, we can change this to a cream color so it matches more with the brown color. You can adjust the locations of your colors by pulling the sliders depending on the values of your original image. This looks okay to me, so I'm just going to leave these as is. Next, we want to add the color to the hair. So we're going to do the same thing and add another gradient map on top. Make sure you click this clipping mask button. Then let's edit this gradient. But this time I'll be making the mid-tone green to match his hair color. Then we can adjust the lighter tone and make it like a yellow color. If you click a slider and drag down, you can remove that color. So I'm going to remove this white since we don't need it. Then to paint where you want the hair color to be, you want to go to your layers panel and click the layer mask thumbnail. To edit the layer mask, you want to paint black to erase the gradient and paint white where you want to reveal the gradient. So I'm going to select my paintbrush tool and just paint black where the skin tone should show. And this will erase the green gradient layer and reveal the skin tone gradient underneath. Next, we can add the white details for the eyes and teeth. Again, this is the exact same method. Just add another gradient map layer on top and make it a clipping mask. This time I'm going to do the reverse. I'm going to use the paint bucket tool to make the whole layer mask black. Then I can use the paintbrush tool and paint the details white. You can go in and adjust the gradient colors. I'm going to move these sliders so it looks a bit more white. And that's the whole effect. You can add in your extra elements to finalize the design. So I'll just add back in this Rodman signature. So this manual method is pretty easy since the image didn't have many colors. But let's say you want to use this other image of Rodman where there's the hair color, skin tone gradient, and the jersey details. That's why I created my Retro Tone Vintage Action Pack Volume 2. It comes with 25 actions that will give your images a vintage effect with a single click. The preset I'll show you now will streamline this whole process by automatically targeting the skin tones and applying the gradient. It'll also add a slight vintage print texture for more vintage detail. If you find my tutorials helpful, I'd appreciate it if you check out my shop in the description and download some tools like this one. I have hundreds of tools to help streamline your t-shirt design process, and it will help support the channel. So after you download the tool, you can go to Window and then open the Actions panel. Go to the hamburger menu and then click Import Actions and select the .atn file. Then the Retro Tone pack should show in the panel. If you scroll down, you'll see these skin tone gradient actions that will automatically target the skin tones of your image and add the gradient map to it. So I'll select this brown one. All you have to do is select your image layer, then click the action. As you can see, the skin tones were automatically masked out with a gradient map. If you open the folder in the Layers panel, everything is 100% editable, so you can edit the layer mask or the gradient. Retrotone comes with a bunch of other vintage effects that automatically add vintage print, grain, and color to your images all with one click. For example, there's this poster rough preset. You just click and the effect is applied to your image. It just makes doing these streetwear vintage image effects super easy and quick. Here's another dark grainy preset. And that's about it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and if you did, hope you consider getting some tools from my website. It helps a lot to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.